What Margaret didn't know, what her doctor didn't fully explain, was that this common drug could be stealing pieces of her mind, quietly eroding the very essence of who she is. They're handed out to help with sleep, to soothe anxiety, or to ease the restlessness that sometimes comes with aging. And on the surface, they seem like a lifeline. After all, who doesn't want a good night's sleep or a moment of calm in a life that can feel overwhelming? These drugs, when used long-term, can be dangerous for older adults. Studies like those published in the British Medical Journal and the American Journal of Public Health have shown that benzodiazepines are linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline, dementia, and even Alzheimer's disease in seniors. The science is sobering. Long-term use can impair memory, slow thinking, and disrupt the brain's ability to form new connections. For someone like Margaret, who's already navigating the natural changes of aging, this is like pouring fuel on a fire. And yet, these drugs are prescribed so casually, so routinely, that many seniors don't even realize the risks they're facing. It's not just about the years ticking by, it's the weight of 1,000 small moments. The ache in your knees when you climb the stairs, the frustration of forgetting a dear friend's name, the quiet fear that you're becoming a burden to your family. For so many seniors, these challenges are compounded by a healthcare system that sometimes prioritizes quick fixes over thoughtful care. Doctors are busy, appointments are rushed, and medications like benzodiazepines become an easy answer to complex problems. But aging isn't just a medical condition to be treated, it's a deeply human experience. One that deserves compassion, understanding, and solutions that honor the whole person. When Margaret started taking her medication, she wasn't told about the long-term risks. She wasn't warned that her brain could be paying a price for those moments of temporary relief. And she's not alone. Millions of seniors are in the same boat, navigating a system that sometimes fails to see them as individuals with stories, dreams, and fears. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much. Your brain is the keeper of your life's memories. The first time you held your child, the sound of your partner's laughter, the smell of your grandmother's kitchen. These are the treasures of a life well lived, and they live in the intricate networks of your mind. But as we age, our brains become more vulnerable. The natural process of aging already slows down the production of new neurons and weakens the connections between them. Add a drug like a benzodiazepine into the mix, and you're putting an already delicate system under even more strain. Research from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society has shown that seniors taking benzodiazepines for more than a few months are at a significantly higher risk of developing cognitive impairment. The drugs work by calming the brain's activity, but in doing so, they can suppress the very processes that keep your mind sharp. John is 68, a retired mechanic who's always been the rock of his family. He's the one who fixes the leaky faucet, tells the best stories at Thanksgiving, and never misses his grandson's soccer games. But a few years ago, John started having trouble sleeping. The nights stretched on, long and restless, and his doctor prescribed a benzodiazepine to help. At first, it worked like magic. John was sleeping again, feeling more like himself. He started to change. He'd forget appointments, lose his train of thought mid-sentence, and sometimes seem confused in ways that worried his wife, Clara. Clara noticed John wasn't telling his stories anymore, wasn't joking with the grandkids the way he used to. When she finally pushed him to see a neurologist, they learned that the benzodiazepine could be contributing to his cognitive decline. John's story isn't just about a drug. It's about a man losing pieces of himself, and a family grappling with the heartbreak of watching it happen. Too often, the symptoms of aging are brushed off as normal. Forgetfulness, fatigue, even falls they're seen as inevitable parts of getting older. But what if some of these struggles aren't just aging? What if they're being made worse by the very treatments meant to help? Falls, for instance, are a leading cause of injury among seniors, and benzodiazepines are a major culprit. A study in The Lancet found that seniors taking these drugs are up to 3 times more likely to fall, often leading to fractures, hospitalizations, and a loss of independence. For someone like Margaret or John, a fall isn't just a physical injury. It's a blow to their confidence, their freedom, and their sense of self. And yet, These risks are rarely discussed when the prescription is written. They can stem from chronic pain, anxiety, or even loneliness. After decades of raising families, building careers, and caring for others, many seniors find themselves in quieter homes, with fewer connections to the world outside. That loneliness can weigh heavy, keeping them up at night, stirring worries that feel impossible to shake. And when they turn to their doctors for help, they're often given a pill instead of a conversation. But what if we looked deeper? What if we addressed the pain, the isolation, the fears, instead of masking them with medication? Imagine a world where Margaret's doctor sat down with her, listened to her worries, and helped her find ways to reconnect with her community, ease her physical discomfort, or manage her stress without relying on a drug that could harm her brain. It's a term you might not hear often, but it's a reality for millions of seniors. Polypharmacy is when someone takes multiple medications at once, often for different conditions. For seniors, this is incredibly common: heart medications, blood pressure pills, antidepressants, and yes, benzodiazepines. These drugs don't always play nicely together. They can interact in ways that amplify side effects, cloud thinking, and increase the risk of falls or other complications. A study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that nearly 60% of seniors take 5 or more medications, and the more drugs you take, the higher the risk of adverse effects. For someone like John, who's also on medication for his heart and arthritis, adding a benzodiazepine is like tossing a match into a dry forest. The result can be devastating, not just for the body, but for the mind and spirit.